What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. It's the Mets win 12-7 over the Atlanta Braves, but only the New York Mets, right? Only this team could make you so aggravated in the process of watching Juan Soto have a 4 RBI day, giving you a huge game. Watching Cedric Mullins give you his best game as a Met. Hayden Sender having a multi-hit game. Which, listen, I was going to sit here and talk about either way how that stuff's probably not sustainable. And I'm happy that they went off offensively because you should be beating Joey Wentz. You should be annihilating Eric Fetty. So I was going to sit here and talk about that anyway. But also, take it away as a positive that at least they showed up against bad pitching, which is something they didn't do against the Nationals. So I can't sit here and bitch when they don't show up against the Nationals and then bitch when they do show up against the Braves. But the main focus of this game was once Nolan McLean departed, where you have this bullpen looking like garbage. And that is a cause for concern. Because if this was a close game, man, they end up blowing it. They end up blowing it. And be fortunate that the offense ended up doing what they did. Now, granted, Edwin Diaz would probably be in if this was a closer game, but you need Reed Garrett to get on the right track. You need Ryan Helsley to get on the right track. And I'm going to sit here and say two different things. Number one, if Frankie Montas can't pitch in a 12-4 game or whatever the score was at that point, 12-2 even, and just let him get the last two innings. If Frankie Montas can't go out there for those two innings, DFA him. Why is he here? What are we even doing with Frankie Montas wasting a roster spot if he can't come into these kind of games? This should be the one reason he's on the roster. Number two, since I like to be honest about my thoughts during the game, even if I end up being wrong because Ryan Helsley was garbage and had shit running down his leg, as do I apparently trying to talk here. But Ryan Helsley, when he came into the game, I'm like, so Carlos Mendoza wants to use Ryan Helsley now, but didn't want to in a closer game yesterday. You know what? I'll put my hand up. Maybe there was a point as to why. Because Ryan Helsley he's been garbage ever since he put on a Met uniform. And I am very concerned about going forward using him in games. I'm very concerned about Reed Garrett touching the mound in games. Ryan Stanek is already a problem as is. Frankie Montas doesn't do anything but hang out in the bullpen. So all of a sudden, this bullpen that we were so excited about, super pen, right? It's kind of got down to three guys in the circle of trust, right? Maybe four. Like, I would say Tyler Rogers is kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The circle of trust to me right now is Raley, Soto, and Diaz. And Raley, you could even argue, is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I'm not going to say that. I'm still putting him in the circle of trust just because that one outing to me isn't enough to say, yeah, he's out of the circle of trust. It was one outing. It was going to happen at some point. To me, he still is. But this bullpen is a problem. And that's concerning because, again, this offense, they're not going to replicate what they did tonight every night. It was great what they did. It was good that they took advantage of garbage pitching, like I said before. But they're not going to do this every night. Like, we all know Brett Beatty's not having a 4-hit game every night. We know Tyrone Taylor isn't getting 3 hits every night. Cedric Mullins isn't going 3 for 4 every night. Hayden Sender's not going 2 for 5 every night with 3 RBIs nonetheless. Like, these aren't things that are sustainable and realistic to ask for on a nightly basis. And the one thing that I wanted to at least see was the bullpen, especially with Garrett and Helsley coming in. Can these guys get back on the right track? Neither of them gave that impression at all. And if anything, they made me feel disgusted with a win tonight because Edwin Diaz had to warm up. The fact that Diaz even had to warm up for a game that was once 12-2 is gross. Thank goodness Nolan McLean is who he is. Because any other starting pitcher on the mound, they lose this game. I got to be honest with you. Even getting 21 hits and 12 runs, they lose this game with any other starter. Kodai Seng is not giving you this. Maybe David Peterson's the only other one. But Sean Manaea is not giving you this. Clay Holmes isn't giving you this. They lose this game if Nolan McLean's not out there on the mound, which is scary. It is a scary thought despite them scoring 12 runs because the bullpen is that bad right now. And the starting pay, I mean, whoever the starter would have been if it wasn't him, probably allows 4 or 5 runs. And then you have to go the bullpen earlier, which again, probably wouldn't hold up because this bullpen absolutely stinks right now outside of 3 names. So it sucks because I want to sit here and be excited about the fact that they won a baseball game 12 to what should have been 12-2 at the very worst, 12-4. I mean, Ryan Helsley, seriously no excuse. Reed Garrett, I mean, he was already in my mind on the fringe of getting option potentially for Brandon Sproat. Now I think it might be a definite at this point because the fact that they put him in this kind of baseball game and he did not thrive, I wonder if Reed Garrett's going to get option for Sproat or McGill to insert a 6 starter soon. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but it's just something to think about because the fact that they don't trust Reed Garrett to go into closer baseball games, that tells you something. Or is it Frankie Montas getting DFA? Because again, if he can't pitch in this game, why is he on the team? No reason to leave him on the team. But I'm very worried right now with this bullpen. Huge credit to Nolan McLean now. Just to talk about a positive for a minute. Nolan McLean, absolutely just filthy again. That strikeout on Matt Olson, that curveball, he's reaching down to his feet trying to swing at that. Filthy. That curveball in general, just the entire game, it was beautiful to watch. Going high with the changeup, getting strikeouts. He is so fun to watch. Like, this is at least a very big positive. And the other thing I loved is how much I felt he was incorporating his sinker and four seam throughout this outing. Because last time I thought he was getting a little too cute, not utilizing them as much. And tonight he started to utilize them more and attack hitters more, which was nice. He nibbled around a bit early on and tripped on the mound on the first pitch, which was also very scary. But yeah, that was just, again, really good to see Nolan McLean go out there and string together 2 good starts and doing stuff that we haven't seen since Matt Harvey touched the mound for this team. I think it was like something about 15 strikeouts in the first 2 starts, whatever it might have been. Whatever the stat was there. We haven't seen it since Matt Harvey in 2012. And that's how good Nolan McLean looks right now. And I absolutely am here for it, and I love it. And he was the bright spot in this game the entire way through. And I would have been so mad if they didn't give him that 7th inning. I was so happy. And this is the first time since June that the Mets got a starter not named David Peterson in the 6th inning. That is absolutely absurd that it's been that way. But also credit to Nolan McLean, who, by the way, too, once again, just flashing the leather at points, too. He's going to win a Gold Glove at some point. Let's call that how it is. He's absolutely winning a Gold Glove. There it is. McClain, 15 strikeouts and 12 starts. Harvey, 18. I mean, just gross. Matt Olson looked like a little boy in the box against them. And I loved it because I'm so tired of watching Matt Olson send one to the chop house, which I'm sure he'll do tomorrow instead. But it was beautiful to watch him go out there, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 4 hits. One of those home runs being to I mean, he'll have one home run. That one was to Ronald Acuna. And then there was that RBI from Profar. Didn't love Nacho Alvarez getting a single, which I'm not killing McClain for because that just barely stayed in fair grounds there, which helped Profar end up getting that RBI. But really good stuff again from Noah McClain. And the Mets finally have themselves a starting pitcher here. It looks like, at least. But as for the rest of the group tonight, I mean, again, the offense, you can't complain that they did their job. You can't complain that they jumped on Wentz early. You get back-to-back singles from Beatty and Taylor. Mullins flies out. There's 2 outs. Senzer comes up, and I'm not expecting anything there. And then he ends up roping a single. Lindor draws a walk there. Soto then walks in a run. I would have liked more damage there. But then the third inning, they add on. Cedric Mullins getting a triple with runners in scoring position. Unfortunately, you had that play or that inning in the bottom of the third there where you had the Alvarez double and then Profar got a single. But how about that strike him out, throw him out double play there? Hayden Senzer showing off the arm a little bit there. How about that? That was beautiful to see. But yeah, and then they tacked on more runs again, which they should be doing. You know, Vientos having an RBI double, which was nice. Taylor RBI double. And I'm very glad they continued the success when Fetty was in the game as well. Because if they didn't hit off Eric Fetty, I would have been so annoyed. And they would have lost this game, mind you, probably. But Lindor with a double. Soto, that home run, all of a sudden, we look at it differently. At the time, we looked at it as, 9-2, not really that meaningful. But now we look at it, given the way the game ended, yeah, that home run actually meant something. Then he had a huge RBI single as well in the 8th inning, which, again, meant something apparently. It's so annoying because I was like feet up thinking nothing to worry about here. And then all of a sudden, Reed Garrett's not covering first base. And here comes Jerks and Profar beating him out to get a single. And that brought in a run. Just, again, the offense, we've seen this movie before where every other week, at least, something along those lines, they'll have these games where they get 10 plus runs. And then we see what they do after that. So I'm not ready to celebrate them scoring 12 runs off of, again, pitchers that they should be, which, again, I won't complain about it. Beat who is on the mound, beat who's in front of you. But at the same time, we got to be realistic and call that how it is. And there are major concerns with this bullpen. Major concerns that I cannot believe we have after the trade deadline. I mean, I thought we were done stressing about the bullpen with the Zach Pop days, with the Brandon Waddell days. I thought we were past that, but apparently we're not. Never an easy game with this bullpen is right. And this bullpen is awful. Stinks. Ryan Helsley is dog shit. Can't argue that. Unfortunately, cannot argue that. And I can tell you right now, when they come back to Citi Field, unless Ryan Helsley has like a lockdown inning at some point in Atlanta here, when they come back home, No hell's bells for him. No entrance. You don't get the right to the aura entrance. No. Love some Nolan McLean. Ryan Helsley, not so much. I'd call up Sproat and Tong option. Garrett, DFA Stanek, move Holmes to the bullpen. I'm right there with you. And I would also send Frankie Montas packing in that same breath. And honestly, I cannot believe I'm saying it. I would send Montas packing and have Tyler McGill up here. I can't believe I'm even saying those words, but that's how much Frankie Montas freaking stinks. McLean might be one of the nastiest pitchers I've seen. Dude struck out Olsen 3 times. It was beautiful to watch every single one of those strikeouts. Freaking love what I'm seeing from Nolan McLean. I could tell you, next home start, I'm probably going because it is entertaining to watch him pitch right now. So, yeah, I wanted to see this bullpen be a lot better, though. That was just very frustrating. Thing I love from McLean is everyone said his struggle would be getting lefty batters out, and he's dominated them so far. Yeah, because people, and it's something to monitor because at the same time, if the league picks up on a sweeper, I don't want to sit here and say it's perfect what he's doing thus far. I get the concerns with that point because if the sweeper, hooks in on the lefties a little too inside and they start to pick that up, that could be a problem. So I understand the concern still from that front, but it's something he'll have to work through at some point. And it is nice to see though early on he hasn't been going through any of those growing pains so far. And I agree. I don't want to rush Tong either, but I'm just saying it's really more about I want those other individuals gone badly. But I agree with the Tong thing. Like that's more just about again getting these other three guys out of here. That too. He does need to clean up getting behind in counts as well. That is also a very big thing. But other than that, impressive. Very impressive. But anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.